Hello Internet, welcome to Game Theory. Well, obviously not really. I have a shitty mic and I don't know how to edit videos, but let's do this.
You can't just shoot a hole into the surface of Mars.
Watch me, Sammy boy. So here we are, like me, wondering how powerful the BFG-10000 is. I'm here late, but fuck it.
So every time the BFG-10000 fires, it's outputting the same energy the sun does every 2.8 seconds. Spoiler alert, my math wasn't right the first time, that's why I'm re-recording shit.
Okay, now it's time for you armchair mathematicians and shit to look at my math. So first let's look at that crater.
As you can see, it's pretty big. I took an image of Mars and scaled it accordingly. Mars has a diameter of 6,770 kilometers or 4,212.3 miles, and I worked it out to 1443 pixels, which means it's 2.9191 pixels per freedom unit or 4.6196 pixels per kilometer. By comparison, and not accounting for any curvature or whatever given the deflection of the image, and it is an image, check out the boundary break video, the crater appears to be about 423 pixels in diameter, which works out to 1234.7906 miles or 1984.553 kilometers.
Now I want to figure out where exactly that crater is, because we're going to Mars's core, but not really the core. At least I'm assuming. So I'm just assuming we blew off most of the crust, and apparently Mars's crust has varying thickness. Here you can see the prominent features of Mars. That scar looks like the Valles Marineris. Proof! Mars's crust averages about 50 or so kilometers in depth, allegedly, which is 31 miles for us silly Americans. And judging by this heat map showing the crust depth and lining it up with what looks like the Valles Marineris, it's greenish yellow, so I'm just going to call it 50 kilometers. Now as you can see, as we jump to the escape pod and ride through the atmosphere, the big fucking gun blew a lot of debris up into the atmosphere and beyond. The escape velocity of Mars is 5.03 kilometers a second. Earth's is 11.19 kilometers a second. But I don't quite know how to figure launching non-aerodynamic chunks of planet on Mars, so I'm just going to ignore that and chalk it up to the explosion. But for those of you curious, apparently it takes 109 megajoules or 63 megajoules to get a kilogram into space on Earth. Apparently. I'm going to first calculate how much rock was vaporized in total. Thankfully, I didn't have to calculate the volume of a spherical cap. Google told me what to search for, and Wolfram Alpha did all the hard work.
By my count, we went and vaporized 7.74 times 10 to the 7 cubic kilometers, or 1.857 times 10 to the 7 cubic miles of rock, which is about 30 times the volume of the Greenland ice cap.
Okay, we're getting close. To vaporize volcanic basalt, which is apparently what Mars' crust is mostly made of, the high end takes 27.5 kilojoules per cubic centimeter. And we're going with the high end to account for all the launched nonsense. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to assume half of the crust is launched and half is vaporized.
Which gives us 38,700,000 cubic kilometers to vaporize. Oh, excuse me. Which gives us 3.87 times 10 to the 22nd power cubic centimeters, which multiplied by 27.5 kilojoules is 1.064 times 10 to the 24th kilojoules, or 1.064 times 10 to the 18th gigajoules, which is equivalent to 2.544 times 10 to the 17th tons of TNT, or 254 quadrillion and 400 trillion tons of TNT.
All this assuming, of course, energy transfer is perfect, and I'm lowballing given there may be more or less crust launched, and I don't fucking know what it'd take to launch it, as I've said before.
Given an incredibly generous 75% energy waste, this means that each blast of the BFG, which is capable of mutilating every monster it comes into contact with, has to have at least 7 gigajoules of fucking energy.
So yeah, if the BFG-9000 outputs 7 gigajoules per shot, that means the BFG-10000 fires 1.52 times 10 to the 17th, or 152 quadrillion times more energy. Don't ask me how. Must be a fucking impressive energy source to be able to fire that thing every few seconds. Thanks for watching.